My 10-year-old son loves watching TV hours and hours in a day. I scream at him to turn TV off. Am I creating a shaft by saying so? One thing, if you try to help him not to watch the TV, really you are helping him. By watching the TV, you will be creating big shafts. Big shafts. So according to me, helping him not to watch TV will really help him a lot. What role does sexuality play in enlightenment? It's a nice question. Whose question it is? I'll answer. See, be very clear. The sex energy has got one important quality. It can be transformed. No other energy has got that quality. Only that energy has got that quality. It can be transformed. When you give suggestion to bring awareness to breathing during meditation, my awareness goes to breathing, but also at the same time it goes to all the extremities of the body, feeling blood flowing through them. What is happening is you are entering into a different zone. You are really going into that unclutched state. When you go into that unclutched state, you will be aware of whatever is happening in your mind and body. See, your body is the nearest thing to your being. So you will become completely aware of your body and mind and your being. So you are really growing. You are really working on your inner space. Things are happening. When a child is born with a disease or brain trauma, did he bring the shaft of pain from previous life? He really brings the shaft. If you can teach him to disconnect or be unclutched, and the unclutching can be taught even at the age of 7 or 8, because that time itself they will be able to understand. This is such a simple thing. Any small child can understand. Just make him write and show him this is the way your mind is going on. Don't give importance to anything. You will help him to retain his enlightenment. Actually, tomorrow we are starting. Just tomorrow we are launching a program called Little Anandas to take care of the kids, to help the kids to retain their enlightenment. Tomorrow onwards we are starting. We are launching in 10 cities at a time. It's like every weekend, every Saturday and every Sunday 2-hour session. Half an hour we give them the basics of spirituality, half an hour some meditation, 1 hour they will jump around and express their energy in all creative ways, singing or painting or different things, to keep them alive and to retain their shaftless space, and even if they started creating shaft, to break free from it, to give them this understanding. We are starting the program. Tomorrow onwards we are starting, called Little Anandas. Every weekend, every Sunday we will be having. How do samskaras affect the shafts? Are they unconscious shafts? Even the ideas that you are unconscious is given to you to exploit you. Now I have to expose one more thing. The concept of sin is inserted into your inner space by the so-called religious people to exploit you. The concept of unconsciousness is inserted into you by the so-called psychotherapists and psychiatrist people to exploit you. There is no such thing as unconscious exists. Let you be very clear. You may be thinking what this Swami is talking. Whether you understand or not, this moment you can unclutch yourself. All your weakness, all your, shafts which you created, which you are not able to relax, only you call in the name of unconsciousness. There is no such thing as unconsciousness. You can unclutch yourself this moment. This moment you can unclutch yourself. You don't have to think, oh, consciously I can unclutch Swamiji. How can I unclutch myself unconsciously? All these things are just one more question. Your failure which you experienced 8 years ago, your failure which you experienced 9 years ago, the failure which you experienced 10 years ago, the failure which you experienced yesterday are not connected. When you connect them and label, oh, I have unconscious problem, that is why I am again and again failing, you create a trouble. They are not connected. This moment, understand, they are not connected, and liberate yourself. Liberate yourself from these shafts. Being unclutched in another way is it living in the present. Again, do not create one more shaft connecting my words with some other's teaching, with Zen teachings, and you will dump me in the same dustbin as you dumped these teachings. Whose question it is? Yes, do not dump me in the dustbin. If you are unclutched, will your thought lead to action? This is a nice question. Whatever needs to become action, automatically they will rise in you, action will happen and they will disappear. They will not leave any hangover in you. Just like how the birds don't leave footprints in the sky, those actions won't leave footprints in your inner space. Whatever needs to be executed, it will simply rise, it happen, disappear. See, when I say all these things, you think I am singing some poems. I am not singing some poems. No, I am not giving you some fantasies. I tell you honestly, this is what is happening in me. Constantly it is happening. It is coming. Whatever needs to be executed, it is happening and relaxing. It can happen in you also. In you also. If you are unclutched, will your thought lead to action? All your thoughts, whatever needs to become action, only will happen in you as thought. Slowly, slowly, you see, as on now, your mind knows any thought thrown at you, you start doing, you are behind that thought. So it's creating too many thoughts. If it knows, no, you are not going to be moved by any thought, it will throw only the thought which needs to become action. It will throw only the thoughts which needs to become action. You brought a set of thoughts to work it out in this life. You will just work them out, that's all, nothing else. Nothing else. Why different levels of intelligence exist in different beings? Do you believe this is genetic or environmental? Be very clear. There is no different levels of intelligence, only the different levels of intellect. In intelligence, there is no different level. In intellect, there is a level. It can be, it's a more environmental as far as human beings concerned, not genital. As far as the animals concerned, it is genital. The moment mind starts working, it is environmental. As long as the individual consciousness, we say in Sanskrit, Pratyagatma Chaitanya, as long as the Pratyagatma Chaitanya, individual awareness is not awakened, it is genital. The moment individual awareness starts working, it is environmental. What to do? Huh? This morning when we were writing our thoughts, some created positive feelings and some were negative. But I noticed that you were commenting throughout our writing, and every time you spoke, it created a stillness, regardless of the emotion the thoughts created. See, whenever I speak, you are still. That is why constantly I am speaking, just to make you still. That's what you experienced. When masters speak, naturally you become still. You are talking a lot about marriage and joking about wives. Would you ever get married and have a family? After all, you said, At age 14, 21, 28, lamas are allowed to marry. What about Swamis? Now, Swamis can marry at any time, no problem. And actually, Paramahamsas can marry at any time. There is no problem. First of all, I am not technically a Swami, I am technically Paramahamsa. Swami means somebody who is trained by a earlier master to sit in that same seat, like a successor, predecessor. They are only called the Pidadhipatis and they have lineage and they have so many rules and all those things. Paramahamsas are the people who left their house and took this life to achieve enlightenment. They have not left for the sake of some Peetam, to sit in some throne or to be a head of some institution. They left out of their quest for enlightenment. So Paramahamsas are no way bound by the rules and regulations of the Swamis. But one thing, let you be very clear, I am not going to marry. And that I am very clear. And because I have seen many people, and I have some more jokes now, I don't want to tell, enough. And I have now too many jokes coming up. They are all coming and crashing now. The traffic jam is happening in my throat. Everyone is trying, hey, I am coming, So, whose question it is? Okay. Let me be very clear, I am not going to marry. You see, Ramakrishna is a very village person. He is such a beautiful being. He used to speak in the slang language. But when his teachings are translated in English, they have polished it. Lot of the gospel of Ramakrishna is not Sri Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita. Now recently, one edition has come. Original Ramakrishna's teachings as it is translated. 5 volumes have come, Sri Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, in English. And he used to speak in a very slang language. He is a very beautiful, innocent being. You should read his teachings in original form. Then you will understand the way in which he lived, and the way is just like a god on the planet Earth. Not like he is, that is one thing, but he is just amazing expression of innocence and grace and everything. If shaft is the cause of diseases, then how can enlightened masters who don't have the shafts get diseases? Let me be very clear. The body is separate. It can be, when they wanted to break that body, they have to break in some way. So from outside when you see, it looks like a disease. When Nisargadatta Maharaj was asked, he says, for you only it is a cancer, not for me. And when Raman Maharshi was questioned, he says there is a pain but there is no suffering. There is no suffering. And their body, they dropping their body is totally different from the diseases which you suffer. See, they may go through a disease and drop the body. They accept the disease just to drop that body, otherwise how to disconnect from the body? Or when they disconnect from the body, body automatically falls into some disease. When they don't live into their body anymore, when they decide to pack up and pack their baggage, bags and baggage, automatically body falls into some disease. Their body falling into some disease and your body falling into some disease is totally different. Do not compare. Whenever a thought rises, even before we remember to unclutch, we get too involved in the thought stream. How do we unclutch whenever a thought rises? Before getting too much involved in that thought, your idea that you are getting too much involved also is one more shaft. Now doctor is repeating, when you are involved 8 years ago, when you are involved 7 years ago, when you are involved 1 month ago, when you are involved yesterday, all these incidents are independent. Why are you creating an idea? You are getting too much involved into your thoughts. Even that is one more shaft. When that comes, say all right, now I am relieved. Now I am unclutching. And even if you are involved, you can't be involved because the thought will be replaced by some other thought. Constantly you are getting replaced. Let it be very clear. Your thought to possess your house, your desire to possess your house, your desire to possess your car is equal to your desire to have a cup of tea. Because the desire to have a cup of tea can replace the desire to possess the car. If you work for 5 years and achieve a new house. When you enter the house, you will have that beautiful feeling, oh, I have a new house. In 2 minutes, there will be another one thought to have a cup of coffee. The desire for the house is replaced. Every thought is constantly replaced. Enlightened masters can leave the body at their will. Then why do they need a disease? Sometime they can leave their body at their will. One more thing, when they leave their body at their will also, sometime when they dump the body, it falls into some disease. Sometime straight away they leave and go. It is the way of dropping. It's like you just drop the cup or you just keep the cup on the table. Sometimes they feel bored, they don't even feel like putting that cup in the table. They just leave their hands and the cup drops and breaks. Like Ramakrishna, Raman Maharshi. Some people keep the cup on the table, like a Paramahamsa Yogananda. His body was so beautiful, pure, nothing, no disturbance. Straight away he left and went away. He just put the cup on the table. He took that much of time and energy. But Ramakrishna didn't feel that much. He just said, drop it, dump it. So, it is each one's will. It is up to them, their will. Some masters leave their body at will. Some leave, some just drop. It's all their will. But that is nowhere related to their enlightenment. In the gap meditation yesterday, I could see my awareness very clearly as a singularity, and I was able to hold it, and it dissolved quietly. If this awareness is my true nature, then who was observing it? You see, when you are in that awareness itself, nobody was observing. Only after coming out, there is observer and the awareness. If the observer also is not there, only then you are in awareness. If you have the observer and the awareness, then you are not in awareness. You are playing the game in the mind. I am aware. You are repeating the thought, I am aware. You are not aware. Repeating the thought, I am aware, is not awareness. So, if you are not having even that thought, only then you are aware. We are unclutched to begin with, as you say. Can we help by using Tattvamasi or a remembrance, or is that also not needed? Who is that questioner? You are, yes. Again you are connecting me with Shankara. Again you are connecting me with Vyasa. Do not even remember new words like Tattvamasi and all those things. Just remember that simple one word. You are unclutched, and be with that.